Who is y'all to tell me what he diagnosed with and what he look like, and what he sound like? Y'all don't know nothing about God, and y'all don't know nothing about nothing. You talking to me like that? So I rebuke everything y'all saying about my child.
It's time to just say what it is so that you can stop being embarrassed and harboring that guilt. I literally spoke what I saw.
It didn't take long for folks to realize that little Con Jr. hadn't changed much since she took him off social media after Con brought her nearly 2-year-old son to something at church. Though there have been rumors of his health issues, Chrisean has always denied them, believing that his issues will eventually be resolved on their own. She couldn't have been more mistaken, as it happens. Once a doctor found a video of Junior that was making the rounds on X, he finally verified what many had covertly suspected. The boy might never learn to speak if proper intervention is not given. Adding insult to injury, Blueface's mother viciously accused Cone of being responsible for her kid's illness, stating that since Cone initially made her son public by live streaming her birth on Instagram, she returned to gushing about how wonderful he was after being gone for months, but viewers weren't really buying into it. People took note when the baby wailed, had terrible hand-eye coordination, and didn't move his head. During a live stream, Con made a valiant effort to pretend that nothing was wrong while defending having a tattoo of Blueface on her face, but her sobs sounded more like a cat's screech. In the background, it exploded, giving spectators the impression that something was amiss. Another video showed Con feeding him, and viewers immediately saw that her son didn't react to the food or spoon until it was right in front of him. He was 8 months old at the time, and most infants of that age would quickly grasp for food, so why wasn't he? Viewers flocked to her comments, guessing that she was intoxicated, giving rise to even more issues. Additionally, one reader said, "Ron Rock is not reaching any milestones. He is in denial about Junior. By now, he ought to be able to sit on his stomach with his head and chest supported. Additionally, he doesn't smile or coo." Con quickly responded, saying that the comment was intolerable and that people were trying to turn nothing into something that someone had started. Another commentator went on to say that the milestones were merely social constructs meant to enhance a parent's ego, rather than actually acknowledge a child's development, although that argument doesn't really make sense. According to that individual, Cone Jr.'s issues were caused by Creed's vaccination, a hereditary disorder entirely unconnected to Cone's drinking or smoking. Set some goals, but keep in mind that having a child and raising them are very demanding tasks. Parents may use these benchmarks to gauge their child's progress, so they're not just for show. It's simpler for parents to spot developmental delays and take the necessary steps when their child isn't reaching age-appropriate tasks. Weighing physicians. According to Inline, Cronin's son exhibited many bodily. The symptoms of fetal alcohol syndrome include a small head, flat mid-face, small eyes, with folds in the corners, and unusually large, low-set ears. In addition to being related to Creed, his high-pitched sobbing might also be an indication of newborn alcohol withdrawal. Con wasn't concerned about the fact that his pupils appear white in photos rather than the usual red, which others have noticed. Declared that her child was well after seeing a doctor and asked people not to diagnose him. "My baby is healthy," she remarked. "If he had a syndrome, they would have pointed it out to me." She snapped, "He's healthy, bro." Just because that picture wasn't cute doesn't mean I'm diagnosing my baby online. This is wrong. Her child's life had been documented at every turn, and if she had ever taken him to the doctor and if she had received a clean health report, she would have made sure to publicize it to keep the naysayers quiet. Blueface, who was just as detached as Crash, criticized Cone for delaying their son's surgery for a hernia, claiming she had other commitments until the situation worsened. Blueface didn't take Junior in for the treatment immediately until after her outburst, blogging about how people started attacking Cone, claiming she only had a child to defend, because we hadn't seen him walk, talk, handle a spoon, laugh, or exhibit any of the other standard 1-year-old milestones. To counter accusations that her son wasn't improving, Chrisean posted a video of him attempting to walk when he was nearly a year old. Janet, her former closest friend, continued to communicate with Blueface, adding gasoline to the fire by suggesting that Con was completely ignorant of Junior's need for help. "When people are in denial, it's impossible to help them see what's really going on," said Janet. Keeping her baby out of the spotlight by limiting the amount of time she spent talking about him on social media was Con's best decision in a long time, according to many. When she brought him to church to sing her new song, Yahweh, the congregation was surprised to see how little he had changed at the age of nearly 2. As a young child whose future is tainted by events beyond his control, Junior should be in that period of unrestrained curiosity, exploring his surroundings and taking in everything. Instead, he remains there, appearing oblivious. Not because Junior has a disability, rather the concern is that the unfortunate reality is that he was born into a circumstance where his parents were, to put it gently, unprepared and showed little consideration for the implications of their actions on a child's life. He was caught up in a web of poor decisions, a poisonous atmosphere, and the fallout from his parents' stormy lives. When his mother, Cash, openly expressed regret for her pregnancy, for instance, she even mentioned having multiple abortions. During her pregnancy, exhibiting the fact that Cash still seems to be denying the grave consequences of her choices for her son is heartbreaking, not only for the boy but also for everyone who knows the real truth about what has transpired. An obvious absence of tension and emotional engagement created the conditions for what was to occur. Although her relationship with Cash has been challenging and they may have some animosity toward one another, she has never held back when expressing her worries about Junior's developmental problems. Her heart bleeds every time she sees Junior in this condition, she said, because he deserves better. And while Clarissa loves him very much, it didn't have to be this way. She was heartbroken by the truth of what had happened and her grandchildren's. Initial reaction upon seeing Junior in public was a mixture of shock and despair. Although she is clearly in love with him, her pain is just as genuine. A lot of responsibility can be laid on everyone, but the tragedy at its core is that Junior had no influence over his birth circumstances and didn't ask to be a part of this chaotic environment. The grown-ups, who are many people, are now curious as to how this occurred and how anyone could have been surprised that Junior would have developmental problems. Cash was unprepared to be a mother and didn't appear to care about the consequences of her lifestyle choices. Her behavior throughout pregnancy, particularly her drinking and smoking, was well documented and undoubtedly contributed to his current problems. Even though Junior is the innocent victim of his parents' negligence, it's easy to feel sorry for him. A toddler of his age should be walking, babbling, and exploring, but Junior struggles to even accomplish those fundamental milestones. So obviously something is wrong as he continues to confront the world with noticeable developmental delays. It's a glaring warning sign, and it's painful to witness a child suffer like this when the foundation, even while she understands deep down that she made mistakes that have brought her to this point, her pride and denial appear to keep her from accepting complete responsibility. Her outward image is defiant, but she is likely grieving behind closed doors. She holds out hope that her kid will get better, but it's clear that he needs more than that. He needs support, intervention, and dedication. During a regular pediatric checkup, Christian, who has long been known for her fiery and often dramatic media character, was hit with a devastating reality check. It began as a routine checkup but ended up becoming a life-altering event. Christian broke down in tears when the doctor's statements, which supported suspicions about Junior's developmental difficulties, broke her heart. As though her embrace might shield her kid from the pain of his illness, she clung to him. After she arrived home, she shared the emotional toll of the incident with her Instagram followers, revealing her vulnerability. She clearly wanted her admirers to know how much she loved her son in the news, even though it had utterly upended her world. "My baby's safety is all I care about. I'm exerting every effort I have," she said to her viewers during a tearful live stream. "This is really difficult for me." Her voice trembled under the weight of her emotions, and her eyes were swollen with tears. Clips from her live performance quickly became popular with fans worldwide. Fans flooded social media with love, hope, and support after her heartbreaking confession, which led to the hashtags #ChachaPrayForJR and #ShareTroxChristianStrong, gaining a lot of popularity. Even GoFundMe campaigns were launched by others to help pay for Junior's possible therapies and medical treatments. It was unclear how Blueface Jr.'s father would respond to the circumstance, and his solemn tweet said, "It's a cold world. Stay dangerous." Some followers thought he was having private difficulties, while others thought his response was aloof and self-serving. Christian, however, didn't appear to be focused on Blueface when she was performing. Her top interests were her child, and the weighty burden of Christian's followers weren't the only celebrities who showed their support. Cardi B and Summer Walker also offered heartfelt comments. Even Christian's video, "Prayers Up for This Mama," was reposted by Cardi B. Keep your strength up. Chrisean had a huge emotional toll and was a young mother facing challenges that no one could assist her with. Must endure on her own, but she also endured a lifetime of intense public scrutiny. She admitted, "I feel like I want to give up sometimes, but I can't. My baby needs me." Even though this kind of strain can be intolerable, Chrisean chose to persevere. She decided to help her son by researching early intervention programs, speaking with professionals, and learning as much as she could. Along with cutting back on her public engagements, she focused all of her energy on helping JR. The way her friends rallied around her, both practically and emotionally, demonstrated the strength of her support system. Fans who sometimes view celebrities as remote or unapproachable saw a human side in Chrisean during this difficult period, when she was going through hardships while steadfastly standing up for her son. But Fashion Strong emerged as a powerful sign of unity. The overwhelming amount of support from all sides serves as a reminder that we are all concerned about JR's welfare, even though the road ahead is still unclear. But as Chrisean embarks on this difficult path with Junior, she knows that she is not going through this alone. To battle for her son's future, she has her family, her supporters, and her own unflinching resolve. This is a far more dire period in Chrisean's life. Her previous legal issues are still very much alive, according to recent court filings. It seems like Chrisean's time to deal with the fallout from her behavior has arrived. Recent indications indicate that she is probably going to receive a long prison sentence. Remember to like and subscribe for more updates, and feel free to comment below. You'll see us in the upcoming video. Horrible blow, especially for her son Junior, who will grow up without his parents due to their negligence. We need to go back to February 2022 to see how we got here. At that time, Chrisean was caught in Oklahoma for operating a stolen car that was found to be loaded with illegal drugs. She was accused of having a controlled narcotic in her possession and intending to distribute it, both of which are punishable by jail time. But the facts continued from there. Chrisean had stolen Blueface's G-Wagon, broken into his home, and scrawled the horrifying words, "I love Blue," in her blood on his wall. In a social media post, Blueface described this as a fatal attraction moment whack 100. Chrisean's actions were further exposed by Blueface's manager, who also shared details about the incident on Instagram. After her arrest, Chrisean's circumstances seemed to improve for a brief period of time. Her attorney argued that she had no criminal history, so she was first given a probationary sentence rather than a jail sentence. In addition to taking thousands of dollars from Blueface and damaging his house, she had also stolen the car. She also called her a bozo and explained that he had to pay for the car's transportation and retrieve it from the impound, demonstrating no sympathy. Document, in addition to doing 120 days of community service, but Chrisean, predictably, failed to meet this condition. Before authorities could arrest her in February of this year, a warrant for her arrest was issued because she had violated the terms of her probation by failing to complete the service. Following her escape to California, where she already had an open warrant, Chrisean's legal problems have gotten worse. It appears like Chrisean is taking full responsibility for her actions. The possibility of spending years behind bars is a sobering reality, and it's uncertain what it would mean for her or her son Junior's future. After a series of poor decisions, the foundation is now being set for a significant and unpredictable event that will impact Chrisean and her child.